Do you find yourself constantly chasing happiness, only to feel like it's always just out of reach? In today's video, we're diving deep into the philosophy of Stoicism to uncover why happiness often eludes most people, and more importantly, how you can cultivate a lasting sense of contentment in your life. Lesson 1. Getting happiness wrong. One of the main reasons we can't find happiness is that we have the wrong idea of what it is. A lot of us think of happiness as having fun, being rich, being successful, or not having any issues. But the Stoics told us that this is not a good way to think. Happiness doesn't come from outside sources. We set ourselves up for constant disappointment when we count on things we can't change to make us happy. We can't change anything else, like our health, our wealth, our relationships, or other people's views. Still, most people make the mistake of tying their happiness to things they can't change. This misunderstanding causes anger, stress, and a never-ending loop of being unhappy. According to the Stoics, happiness is a state of mind. It happens when we accept life as it is, face truth, and know that outside events don't determine our happiness. How we think about these events affects our peace of mind. If we can accept that some things are out of our hands, we can stop putting too much pressure on the world to change the way we want it to. Think about being outside in the rain without a cover. A lot of people would be upset, angry, or frustrated about it. Rain is just a natural event that happens from time to time. People get angry because they think things should be different, like it shouldn't rain. There are, however, different ways to deal with rain if we accept that it is a normal part of life. We can either be unhappy about the rain and the smell of fresh air, or we can be happy about them. This idea is what the Stoics call living in harmony with nature. We can start to see happiness differently once we realize that the things going on around us are neutral, and that we are the ones giving them emotional power. The Stoics said that the only way to be truly happy is to find peace within ourselves, no matter what is going on around us. When we understand what happiness really means, we stop looking for the wrong things and start focusing on what matters most, who we are, and how we handle life. Lesson 2. Being afraid of pain and discomfort. Fear of pain and discomfort is another big thing that keeps us from being happy. Comfort and ease are very important in today's world. We are told to stay away from all kinds of pain, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical. But Stoicism says that this fear is one reason why we can't find happiness. Another well-known Stoic thinker says that suffering and pain are normal parts of life. To be afraid of them or stay away from them at all costs is to be afraid of life itself. It was clear to the Stoics that we can't avoid pain, but we can choose how to deal with it. Stoicism tells us to face our pain with bravery and strength instead of running away from it. Because we are afraid of being uncomfortable, we make choices that help us avoid change. We might avoid tasks if we think we will fail. We might avoid tough talks because we don't want to get into a fight. We limit our potential and miss out on chances to learn and grow when we do this. Stoicism tells us to accept that feeling uncomfortable is a normal part of being human. Imagine a person who is getting ready for a race. It's a hard, painful, and draining process. But that pain is not something to be afraid of or stay away from. It's what you have to do to get stronger and reach your goal. Similarly, the hard things and uncomfortable parts of life are not things that keep us from being happy. They are what make us stronger and smarter. The Stoics thought that we become stronger by willingly putting ourselves through pain. For instance, as a mental activity, they did negative visualization, which meant picturing the worst-case scenarios. This wasn't done to scare them, but to get their minds ready. They were less upset when things went wrong because they regularly thought about how they would deal with loss, illness, or suffering. This activity makes us stronger and helps us remember that many of the things we fear are not as scary as they seem. We can free ourselves from a lot of the anxiety that holds us back when we stop being afraid of pain and instead see it as a teacher. We learn that pain only lasts for a short time, but the lessons and power we gain from it last a lifetime. We don't have to look for happiness in the lack of pain. Instead, we can find it in our ability to face and get through life's problems with a steady mind. Lesson 3. You're being too hard on yourself. The way people treat themselves is a quiet but strong reason why many people can't find happiness. A lot of us are too hard on ourselves. We hold ourselves to impossible standards, criticize ourselves every time we make a mistake, and feel guilty and ashamed for things that are normal for people. The Stoics were very aware of this trend. In his book Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and ruler, talked a lot about how he struggled with self-doubt and criticism. He knew that making mistakes and not being perfect was part of being human. But he also knew that we needed to learn how to be kind and understanding to ourselves. The Stoics teach us that accepting our flaws is a part of being smart and happy. Yes, we are flawed, but that's okay. Being perfect doesn't make us happy. Being aware of our flaws without having them define us does. The Stoics say that we shouldn't be hard on ourselves when we make mistakes. Instead, they say we should see each mistake as a chance to learn and get better. Some things we can do to calm down are to show amor fati, which literally means love of fate. With this thought, we should accept that everything that happens in life, even our own flaws and mistakes, is a natural part of being alive. We can start to let go of the hard self-judgment that keeps us from being happy if we accept that we are human and that we will make mistakes. Being hard on ourselves not only makes us less happy, but it also stops us from growing. We are scared to try new things or take chances when we are too critical. We are afraid of failing. If you fail, don't feel bad about it. It's a part of learning. No one is crushed by misfortune unless they think themselves crushed. That is, how we think about our mistakes decides whether they hurt us or help us grow. We need to learn to forgive ourselves if we want to be happy. We need to be kind and patient with ourselves, just like we would be with a close friend. The Stoics thought that everyone is a work in progress and that each day is a chance to get better and smarter. Being perfect isn't what makes you happy. Being ready to accept the ups and downs of the growth path is. Lesson 4. You're envious of other people. We constantly compare ourselves to others, which is another big reason why many of us can't find happiness. To feel envy is very strong, and it can take away our peace and happiness. We let envy poison our happiness when we look at what other people have, their success, their belongings, or their relationships, and are unhappy with our own. They said many things about envy. They knew that it was pointless to compare themselves to others because everyone is on a different road and has their own challenges, skills, and situations. He wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about other people unless it is for some common good. Focusing on the successes or failures of others takes our attention away from our own path and growth. When we're jealous, we think that someone else's success takes something away from us. However, the truth is that other people's success or happiness has no effect on our own ability to be happy. The Stoics teach us that how we live our lives based on our values, not how we compare to others, is what makes us truly happy. The Stoics say that one way to fight envy is to practice thanks. We shouldn't think about what we don't have. Instead, we should remember all the good things and chances we already have. Getting rid of envy and increasing happiness can be done by focusing on the good and plenty in our own lives. Redefining success is another important Stoic habit. These days, we often think of money, fame, and power as signs of success. But the Stoics thought that the only way to really be successful was to live a good life, one that is full of virtues like knowledge, courage, justice, and self-discipline. If we judge our success by these traits inside instead of what we've done outside, envy won't be able to control us as much. Also, keep in mind that everyone is fighting their own fights, even if it looks like they are winning. The Stoics warn us that what we see on the outside can be misleading. We can think that someone has everything they want, but we have no idea what problems or pains they may be going through behind the scenes. We can find lasting happiness if we focus on our own growth and progress instead of what other people are doing. Lesson 5. Don't give up on nature. A lot of people can't find happiness because they fight the flow of life. A lot of the pain people feel comes from trying to control things that are out of our control, according to the Stoics. We don't always accept life as it is. Sometimes we fight it and wish things were different. This pushback makes things tense, frustrating, and unhappy. The Stoics say that we should live in peace with nature. When they say nature, they mean the way things are in the world, from the laws of physics to the things that happen to us every day. Things that happen to us are out of our hands, but we can choose how to react to them. When we fight against what is, we cause more pain than is necessary. We can find peace and happiness, though, when we accept things as they are. What counts is not what happens to you, but how you handle it. At the heart of Stoicism is this simple but deep lesson. Life is full of things that you can't plan for, like getting sick, losing someone close, being let down, and going through changes. We lose our chances of being happy if we spend our time and energy fighting these things that are going to happen. Once more, Stoicism teaches us about amor fati, which means the love of fate. Taking everything that happens, good or bad, as part of the natural order is what this means. We can learn to say yes to life as it comes our way instead of wishing things were different. In spite of this, we don't stop trying to get better or give up when things get tough. This means letting go of the things we can't change and focusing on the things we can. When we fight against life, we miss the beauty and knowledge that can come from going through hard times. If we are willing to learn, every problem, failure, and loss has a lesson to teach us. When we fight against the flow of life, we miss out on these chances to grow. But when we accept the ups and downs of life, we gain the strength and knowledge to handle them with ease. To get along with nature, you need to know that things are always changing and that you are a part of something bigger. Things move around, people come and go, and the seasons change. We hurt ourselves when we hold on too tightly to how we think things should be. But we can find peace if we learn to go with the flow of life's changes. The Stoics teach us that being happy doesn't mean having everything go our way. It means being happy with what happens no matter what. Lesson 6. Building up your strength. We don't always find happiness because we haven't learned how to deal with the hard things in life. They thought that the way to true happiness is not to avoid problems, but to get strong enough to face them with confidence and calmness. Life is unpredictable, and we will always have to deal with struggle, loss, and pain. But these things don't have to keep us from being happy. In fact, they can help us get smarter and stronger. Being resilient means being able to bounce back from problems and stay calm inside even when things are going crazy around you. The Stoics thought that being strong was one of the most important virtues for having a good life. To build up this resilience, they did mental exercises like negative visualization, imagining the worst-case situations, and thinking about how everything changes. Understanding that we can't change what happens to us, but can change how we react is a key part of becoming more resilient. I think this is what Stoic knowledge is all about. When we focus on the things we can change, like our thoughts, feelings, and deeds, we give ourselves the strength and grace to handle problems. Another important part of being resilient is the Stoic idea of preparation. The Stoics thought that we should get ready in our minds for the challenges and problems that life will surely bring. This doesn't mean we live in fear of bad things happening. It just means we know that life is unpredictable and train ourselves to be ready for it. We build the mental toughness we need to handle anything that comes our way by preparing for problems and telling ourselves that we are strong enough to handle them. Stoicism tells us that bad things should not be feared or avoided, but should be welcomed as a chance to learn. The problems we face give us a chance to grow as people by practicing bravery, patience, and knowledge. We stop seeing suffering as something that will make us unhappy and start seeing it as a way to become more fulfilled. Most people don't find happiness because they don't know what it is. They're afraid of being uncomfortable. They're too hard on themselves. They envy others. They fight the natural flow of life, and they aren't strong enough. But if we follow the timeless teachings of Stoicism, we can change how we think and find a deeper, longer-lasting kind of happiness that comes from within and can't be taken away by outside events. True happiness doesn't come from having everything go perfectly. Instead, it comes from finding inner peace, strength, and acceptance in the face of the problems that life throws at you.